Let's talk about the top 10 cities to retire in Europe, and each month I make a video about the top 10 countries, cities, or towns to retire, live, or visit based on the Global Retirement Index or the Global Livability Index. These 10 cities I'm going to talk about are based on my opinions, research, and experiences. I know some of you will say something negative about these cities, but hey, this is why we all have our own opinions, right? If you're brand new to my channel, my name is Sai and welcome. So for each city, I'm gonna specifically talk about the process of obtaining a retirement visa or permanent residency, the average cost of living in that area, and how much it costs to rent or purchase a home. Just keep in mind that the prices will vary and increase due to inflation, and it's not necessarily cheap. So please do your own research by traveling there first before making a decision to retire there. Without further ado, let's get into it. Croatia is a country located in the northwestern part of the Balkan Peninsula. It's a crescent-shaped country neighboring Slovenia, Hungary, and Austria to the north, and Serbia and Bosnia and Herzegovina to the south and east. The heart-shaped Istria Peninsula in the northwest corner of Croatia is famous for wineries, olive oil tastings, rock climbing, and diving, and it's only a 20-minute drive to Italy, crossing over Slovenia. According to the expats living there, the total cost of living depends on your lifestyle. You can make ends meet on 1,000 euros a month, but it won't be as pleasant. 1,500 to 2,000 euros a month would give you more room to spend on their delicious food and outdoor activities. You could find a fully furnished 2-bedroom apartment for about 800 euros a month, but it will likely increase over the years. If you're traveling to Croatia for less than 90 days in a 180-day window, you do not need a visa to enter Croatia. However, if you're looking to live or retire in Croatia, you'll need to apply for a long stay visa or the Croatian residence permit for non-EU citizens at the Croatian embassy or consulate in your home country. You can prepay a rental agreement for 1 year or invest in real estate by purchasing a home. You need to have a minimum monthly income of $530 a month, and that is likely going to increase over the years. You're required to check in at the local police station within 3 days of your arrival. You'll also need to obtain a personal identification number, kind of like your social security, to open a Croatian bank account and gain access to their healthcare facilities. By the way, you can get our financial independence resources for free by visiting firesidechat.com/contact. You can also check out the Fireside Chat shop if you're looking to start your own YouTube channel, and I have all of my equipment at firesidechat.com/shopping. Finland is one of the world's most northern countries, neighboring Norway to the north, Sweden to the west, and Russia to the east. It's heavily forested with over 56,000 lakes and rivers. Due to the harsh climate to the north, about 1/5 of the country's population live in and around Helsinki. Most expats like to live outside of the city limit to enjoy outdoor activities. It has a very low crime rating and is considered one of the cleanest cities to live in. It is a popular retirement location, especially for anyone who wants a safe and comfortable location surrounded by nature. If you can handle the cold weather, Finland might be worth looking into. According to the expats living there, the cost of living can be high due to higher taxation in the country. Depending on where you want to live in Helsinki, the rent can be as low as $1,200 a month or as high as $3,000 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment. The high taxation is to fund the Finnish welfare society that provides education, healthcare, and social security. Most people choose to live outside of Helsinki to save money on rent and other expenses. If you're looking to live or retire in Finland, you have the option to get temporary residence permits or permanent residence permits. You can apply for a permanent residence permit after living in Finland for more than 4 years. Before moving to Finland, you need to make sure you complete a criminal background check, have a Finnish bank account, and register for National Health Insurance or NHI. You also need to provide proof of income by showing a pension statement for the last 6 months at the Finnish embassy in your country of residence. The city of Como in Italy is located just north of Milan and right next to Switzerland, where they have the Alps. Its proximity to Switzerland makes it attractive to expats who who love to ski or do other outdoor activities. The amazing scenic view of Lake Como actually appeared in one of the James Bond movies, Casino Royale. You can choose to live in the smaller town of Montenegro if you don't want to live in the city. It has a low crime rate due to its lower population and location on the lake's coast. The cost of living in Como is fairly expensive when you compare it to other Italian cities. This is largely due to a luxury lifestyle and tourism traffic between Como and Switzerland. The tourist population, however, is still considered minimal if you compare it to Rome or Milan. According to the expats living there, you can choose to live in a smaller town to reduce prices for rent and utilities, but the food prices are still high anywhere you go, and you will need at least 4,000 euros a month for a couple to live comfortably in Como. So you will need some money or wealth to live in that area. If you're looking to retire in Italy as a non-EU citizen, you will need to apply for an Italian elective residency visa to stay for longer than 90 days. You need to provide a lease or rental agreement or proof of purchasing a property, proof of international health insurance, and a minimum income of 31,000 euros a year or 38,000 euros a year for a married couple. By the way, if you need help with your personal finances, like building your wealth and managing your budget, you can schedule a free one-on-one 20-minute financial coaching session by visiting firesidechat.com/coaching. Ljubljana is the capital of Slovenia, located north of Croatia, east of Italy, west of Hungary, and south of Austria. Slovenia is one of the Central European countries that have the most diverse culture, language, and geography. It's famous for the Union beer experience if you're a beer lover, Ljubljana Central Market, Lake Bled, Open Kitchen Market if you're a foodie, and so much more. According to the expats living in Slovenia, you can get by with 1,500 euros a month, but it's better to have 2,000 to 2,500 euros if you want to live comfortably in Ljubljana. Renting an apartment within the city limit can also be higher than anywhere else in the country. So it depends entirely on your lifestyle while keeping their high taxes in mind. Most expats choose to live outside the city limit to save some money on rent. American citizens can get a 1-year temporary residence permit to Slovenia, and you can renew your permit annually. And after living in Slovenia for 5 years, you can apply for permanent residency in order to apply for the residence visa. You have to provide proof of income of at least $1,000 a month, but that's likely going to increase over the years. Proof of employment in Slovenia or proof of self-employment as a foreign national. You also need to show proof of international health insurance prior to entering the country. If you're retired, you'll need to show proof of pension income for the last 6 months. Dublin is one of the best cities for young American expats to live in Ireland due to its culture, nightlife, and friendliness. And I went to Ireland back in 2008 and tried their Guinness for the first time, and let me tell you, you will never taste the American version of Guinness the same ever again. Dublin is famous for its impeccable beauty, pub culture, literature, and high standards of living. According to the Irish Times article, Dublin was found to be the 7th most expensive or least financially viable city of 56 major cities worldwide. The rental rates in Dublin are actually the highest in Ireland, and the cost of living is likely going to increase over the years. So depending on how much you want to spend on your rent, your cost of living in Dublin could be in the range of 3,000 or 4,000 euros total per month. The expats living in Ireland recommend relocating outside of Dublin if you're looking for cheaper rent, a lower cost of living, and a quieter lifestyle. And if you're still looking to retire in Ireland, you need to apply for what's called Stamp 0 to the Department of Justice in Dublin. And the condition for Stamp 0 is that you have to be financially independent or self-sufficient, or you have a sponsor in Ireland to financially support you. With this type of visa, you're not eligible to receive any publicly funded services like public hospitals, and you have to have your own private medical insurance, and you're not allowed to work or engage in any business, trade, or profession unless you have a separate letter that permits you to do those things. And I will put their Justice Department website in the description below. Kotor in Montenegro is a hidden gem neighboring Croatia to the southwest, Bosnia and Herzegovina to the northwest, Serbia to the northeast, Kosovo to the east, and Albania to the southeast. Montenegro is a retirement paradise for many expats who enjoy beautiful beaches along the Adriatic coastline, medieval villages, and rugged mountains. Kotor is famous for its well-preserved medieval town with the upper city walls, a cat museum if you're a cat lover, and quiet retirement suburbs. If you want more luxury, you can check out Tivat, which is located on the eastern coast of the outer bay of Kotor. Even before its independence from Serbia in 2006, Montenegro has been a hotspot for retirees from all over Europe and the US. It has a relatively low cost of living if you compare it to other countries in Europe. What's interesting about Montenegro is that it only charges you 9% income tax for all individuals, but there's a value added tax or VAT at 21% for all residents. According to the expats living there, buying a home in Montenegro is the easiest route to obtaining a temporary residence permit as a Montenegro retirement visa. You can stay in the country for 12 months and extend the visa every year before it expires. After 5 years of temporary residence, you're eligible for permanent residency for 5 years and extend the visa indefinitely. Most expats chose to go with the golden visa by investing in their real estate with a minimum amount of 250,000 euros. Vienna is possibly one of the most beautiful cities in Europe, if not the world, full of history, culture, art, and music. Vienna is also known for its palaces, museums, and unique architecture. It's considered the birthplace of classical music, and I encourage you to read up on the Viennese classical period before going there. My parents and I spent some time in Vienna during the 1980s, and I remember how my parents talked about the opera house in Vienna during their stay. And according to the expats living there, most of them choose to rent accommodation rather than purchase property in Vienna. There are a lot of students in Vienna starting their academic year in September, so you want to keep that in mind when you're searching for a property to rent, while an influx of students to Vienna increases competition for rental properties. The rental price will depend on the district you decide to reside. Most expats like to live in districts 18 and 19 in Varing and Dublin because they find more family-friendly housing, international schools, and nurseries. If you're looking to retire in Austria, they don't have a specific retirement visa, but you can choose other available options you can access for retirement. You'll need a residence visa titled Settlement Permit Except Gainful Employment. There's a limited number of permits Austria will issue, so make sure you're aware of their quota before you apply. You must have your own health insurance coverage and earn at least 2,060 euros a month in passive income for singles and 3,250 euros a month for married couples. I will put the Austrian visa link in the description below. Copenhagen is the capital of Denmark, sitting on the coastal islands of Zealand and Amager. Directly across Copenhagen is Sweden, which is only a 15-minute ferry ride to Malmö. Copenhagen is famous for breweries, Tivoli gardens, beautiful canals, and the Little Mermaid sculpture. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm more interested in their real Danish pastries in Copenhagen. And the city is also apparently ranked highest in the world for happiness. And let me know in the comment section down below if you're in Copenhagen and if that statement is true. And according to the expats living in Copenhagen, learning their language as an expat helps you make social connections with the locals. In my opinion, you should attempt to learn the local language any country you visit. And most expats choose to live in an apartment unless you have a very large budget for housing expenses. While the quality of life in Copenhagen is high, the cost of living is also ranked one of the highest in Europe. The rental price will depend on the location, and some people save money by renting a room instead of an entire apartment. Unfortunately, Denmark does not offer a retirement visa. However, you can apply for a long-term visa like the student visa, workers visa, or the partner visa if you're married to a Danish citizen. If you want to work in Denmark, you'll need to apply for a residence and work permit and a Danish company that is willing to sponsor you. You can also apply for a Denmark startup visa by presenting a business plan to the Danish Business Authorities panel. The city of Eindhoven in the South Netherlands is a technology and design hub and is the birthplace of Philips Electronics. Eindhoven is famous for its innovation in design and technology and the Netherlands' longest cafe and bar strip. And Eindhoven has a large expat community working for the multinational tech companies. And if you're a history buff, check out the history about Operation Market Garden, because Eindhoven was one of the first major Dutch cities to be liberated by the Allies during World War II. According to the expats living in Eindhoven, many of them chose to live in the villages that surround the industrial city, where housing tends to be larger and with more green space. The rent in Eindhoven is higher if you choose to live in the middle of the city. Some expats even chose to purchase houses in those villages for the long-term stay with the right price. Your cost of living depends entirely on your lifestyle. Having a car can be expensive in Eindhoven, so most people use the public transportation system to get around the city. But overall, it is significantly cheaper than many other major European cities. If you want to stay in the Netherlands for longer than 90 days, you'll need to apply for a long stay visa or MVV for the US residents. You'll need to apply for a resident permit and an MVV at the Netherlands embassy or consulate. Both EU and non-EU citizens need to have lived and worked in the Netherlands for 5 years before you can gain permanent residency. Unfortunately, they do not have a retirement visa for expats, but if you're a high net worth individual, you can apply for a golden visa by investing at least 1.25 million euros to a Dutch company. Portugal has become one of the most popular destinations in Europe for retirees from the US. Despite its recent rise in inflation, Lisbon is still considered one of the most affordable cities in Europe, and the expats in Lisbon experience easy access to healthcare, a low cost of living, and low crime rate. Because of its excellent weather throughout the year, people are never bored living in Lisbon with the nearby beaches and fairy tale villages. According to the expats living in Lisbon, if you're looking to stay somewhere more affordable, the neighborhood in Arroyos is more affordable for expats and students on a budget. Apartments there are more spacious and cheaper than other areas in Lisbon. If you're on a larger budget and looking for a calm and quiet neighborhood, Campo de Ourique might be worth looking into. The amount of money you need to live in Lisbon will depend entirely on your preferred lifestyle and budget. If you're looking to retire in Portugal, you need to have proof of income from a pension, savings, or investments when you apply for the DISA visa. You need to show that you're financially independent and making at least 705 euros a month per adult and 352 euros a month for the second or more adults. You also have to show proof that you have an apartment rental or purchased property to live in once you move to Portugal. After 120 days, you can apply for the 2-year permit and then apply for permanent residency after 5 years. If you want to know more about how to retire early outside of the US, be sure to check out these 2 videos. So with that said, I appreciate you watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good one.